Now awake. Everything's
Now
fine. Yeah, everything's fine. Now awake.
I'm glad you could get out of bed to make the recording, Slack. I appreciate it.
It's okay. I'm still wiping sleep out of my eyes. It's fine. It's fine. It's only
It's all
2
good.
o'clock in the afternoon. don't you sleep till 7 o'clock at night? I mean, it's what I do.
Yeah, well, every day. Oh, jeez. Hello and welcome to another episode of the very much unofficial Minecraft Update podcast. We're on episode 33. We're into the second half of our stack of podcasts.
Oh yeah, because we really mentioned that last episode, didn't we?
Yeah, we were still half a stack.
We
and
were
didn't
so
say a word
on
about
it.
Yeah, we were totally together and with it last podcast. It was perfect. I think the news was the best section.
And then on top of that, it's like, people, why don't you all plan these? I mean, you sent messages earlier today. Everybody going to be there? Yeah. And I mean, I just woke up. I mean, we're so organized. It's great. Great.
Indeed. Oh, geez. Speaking of being organised, see this amazing segue as usual. Jessiie, how did you organise your week?
I
Smooth.
streamed, and then I streamed, and then I streamed some more. So that's been really fun. I'm sure people will be happy to know, since I get asked every week, I've done my first face cam stream now.
On Twitch?
No,
No, on
Discord.
Discord. Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't count then.
And then
It
fell off my
does
chair.
count. No. Well, speaking of that, if all goes well, it'll be stream day. Will be my first one.
No way.
I just have
No, do
to make sure that I have a mod available, because this is a different time for me. So all of my mods aren't available. So
Not to put you off, but you pick the one where you're going to have the most numbers ever, you know.
yeah, that's why. That was the thinking.
Okay.
The thinking was, I'm just going to jump in the deep end, right? Like, if I go with the most people I'm ever going to have, then it's done, right? Like, then it's fine. I'm not going to be stressed about it, because it'll be no big deal. That's my thinking.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm into
So-
it. I'm on.
Yeah, that's going to work real good for you. Not going to be no problems at all.
No.
Yeah, well, like I said, if I can find a mod. If I can't find a mod, then it's not going to be that one, because I'm not completely dumb. I don't want to go in there like empty-handed.
It has to be at 3 a.m. in the morning my time, so I'm not even going to be able to see it. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I didn't realize that I had such a late stream until I had already started telling people I think I was going to do it. And they were like, you do realize you're in the afternoon, right? And I was like, what? And I looked on 6 p.m. my time. I was like, oh, that's...
Well, it's better than 6 a.m. and you're all like bug-eyed and, eye
No,
bags
see,
and
that's
all that.
better.
Really?
I'm super awake in the morning. Yeah, I'm a morning person. I'm like one of those people, when I get up, I'm just ready for the day.
The
I
hair's
just like get up and
beautiful,
go.
makeup's already on, just like out the movies. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
6
that's how I
p.m.
wake
I am
up.
so confused. I'm so confused.
Why?
I'm looking at. I must be looking. Am I
You're
looking at the
looking
right
at the
stream?
It's not in our announcements yet for some reason. I had to look in the, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw it announced on Twitter. That's weird that it's not in
Not
the
in the
Discord
Discord
yet.
announcements,
Oh, weird. We'll have to fix that, seeing as how stream day is in 2 days.
yes. Yeah, right.
Right? I don't even think it's been posted on my Discord then, because I don't post it in mine until it's posted in.
No, I always forget. Yeah. Oh, good. It's good to see that we're all so organised.
I know.
I mean, not just the podcast, but TV as well, right? Yeah.
Hey, I have no power there either, so we can't blame me for this one.
No. Oh, this is another one. I don't have access conveniently.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this is a pure Foxy moment here.
Yeah.
You guys don't trust me with stuff. Not my fault.
Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Right. Slack, how's your week been?
Yes. I just woke. Everything. Bugs. Minecraft recording. It's been. I'm trying really hard not to rant here about bugs. It's fine.
Well, we've got a Bugdate section for that. Hold it in.
Okay.
Big breath.
Yep. I got
And
this.
talk around the bugs.
Minecraft recording, editing, streaming. I mean, it doesn't really change much from that.
We've got such exciting lives, haven't we?
Well, on top of that, the other good news on my end this week, I mention the immigration status constantly. We got our NOA 1, which means the first notice of action's gone through.
Ooh,
So
wow.
it's now we're just waiting on the government, which It's backlogged worse than it's ever been, so it's probably going to be over a year before we get our NOA 2, but the ball is officially rolling.
Yeah, at least it's started. That's great.
Yeah,
Nice.
So
Good.
and then on top of that, she'll be over here next week again for another visit.
Nice.
And
Wow.
I was looking at coming over there right now. I can get a ticket, come over to the UK around November for about $700.
That's quite expensive.
That's actually, I
that's
was just
quite
thinking that's
cheap
not
right
that
now.
bad. Yeah,
That's
I was like,
like
wow,
really cheap.
700? That's great.
That's really cheap right now. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, summertime
I could
trips
fly to
right
the
now
other
is
side of the
about-
world in October for like £300. So
Okay, so the fuel cost one way is relatively cheap, but the other way is super expensive. Like the trip that she's making here in a few days, even though we booked it way in advance, is still about $1,400.
yeah, well, that's summer holidays for us. So everything's like triple the price when you're trying to go anywhere or do anything. That's why, like out of school times generally great.
Well, that's us booking like 3 months in advance. If you try to book that like right now, it's like $5,000.
Oh yeah, at least. Yeah, and then some
Oh, yeah.
probably.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh, well, good. Well, my week, peeps, has been really different and interesting. It's been, so many different things have happened.
Oh, come on, please tell us. Please tell us. I want to
I
hear
am
different
on
because
pins and needles.
I'm literally, it's just the same thing every day for me. What do you got?
Oh, man, I've recorded TB episodes, which is quite unusual for me.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay.
I did a piglin bartering farm in one of them and captured many
Okay.
piglins.
Okay.
Something slightly less unusual is that I've been doing, obviously, my vlogs and things like that still, and I'm still enjoying that. I'm still having fun doing that. I did another YouTube stream. YouTube stream's different for me. I haven't done that in ages. That was fun.
No,
And-
yeah.
I've been doing some VR fitness, and thanks to that, I have now 7 copyright notices on my channel from 2 videos, which is wonderful.
Oh, no.
Nice. That's
Really?
I mean, I guess that is new. Copyright strikes, yeah, or notices. You haven't had those in a while.
I've appealed one because I thought I'll try it. Because obviously, if you dispute it and you're wrong, you get a strike, right? And it's on my second channel. So I thought, I'm not going to appeal all 7. I'll appeal one because I'm sure if it's within video game content and you're effectively like making videos out of that video game, then it's fine, right? I'm sure that's the thing. And they even had a section in the dispute like it's part of a game. So I put that on there. I haven't obviously had any feedback back yet, but I'm very much hoping they'll just be like, no, sorry, and I don't get a strike, rather than, obviously them going, yeah, that's fine, okay, we'll take away the strike, in which case I'll appeal to the rest of them, but we'll see. But the really annoying thing is, because this is one of those where it's not, we shouldn't use that, but we'll share revenue with you or anything. It's like, no, totally ineligible, and you've got no control over the ads. So we're going to just run ads like crazy through both of those videos. So I was watching the first one back from YouTube, and there were 5 ad breaks in it. And it's like a 20-minute video. And I'm like, can I turn that off? No, I can't, because the game company who owns the game wants all the revenue. Like, wow, that sucks.
Now, see, in that kind of situation, do they get to like edit the video and be like, or do they have like a preset standard where they're like, oh, somebody wants to run our ad? Well, if they do, we're going to run X amount of ads on their video.
I have
I
no
think
idea.
they probably have a minimum. Like, it would just make sense.
That feels even
It
more
feels
wrong.
scammy and scummy,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
It is totally scammy, totally ridiculous. It should just be like, oh, you can't have ads on it, and then no one
Yeah.
gets any ads.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't know. Jeez. Anyway, so yeah, that's. Hang on a minute, I'm moving my fan around, just blowing on the microphone. That's pretty much my week.
Oh, fan, is it still insanely hot over there? I
Yes.
mean, I thought the week of you all yelling about the heat was over.
No, we got another one, and it's going to last longer. Fortunately, where I live, it's nearly 10 degrees less than it was last time, so it's not crazy. But my house has now got to the point where, even though it's cool outside, my house is like, hey, we're on a beach in the middle of the day in the hottest sun. So just roasting indoors, which is quite annoying. But yeah, it's like where Mitz lives further down in the country, that she's got like 35, 36 degree heat, whereas here it's like the most we're going to get is about 29. So it's not horrendous outside. It's actually quite nice, sort of not. Oh, you wouldn't want to do any exercise in it or go for a run or anything, but it's quite nice just sort of chilling out in the garden and going for a little walk. But inside, it's just, it's horrible.
Roasting. Yeah. Ugh.
And then, oh man, sorry, I thought I'd finished talking about my week, but I just remembered Nelly did a bark earlier. The first time ever she's barked at something that isn't just me like teasing her or winding her up. She never barks at people. She never barks when she sees someone out the window or anything like that. But I was watching YouTube earlier, sat in the front room, and she jumps up at the back of the sofa where she normally likes to look out the window and to the street and see what's going on. And she just went still all of a sudden. And then she barked, and I was like, what are you doing? What are you barking at? And there were two young gentlemen with their tops off sitting on the grass outside of my house with their bicycles, chilling out. And I was like, yous, get away. And I didn't dare go outside and tell them to go away, but I wanted to.
She's like, that's my yard. My yard.
Yeah. I mean, it's not technically my yard. It's the other side of the wall, but there's like this big grass patch before you get to the road. And yeah, they're on there. And I'm like, no, that's the bit outside the front of my house. Shoo. Who knows what you're up to without your tops on, you ruffians, and your bicycles. Go away.
You ruffians. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, from our weeks to what everybody thought of our weeks, we're going into the feedback. And we've got a reasonable amount, not loads. And
I seen yesterday somebody new discovered like the email form, whatever, and there was 57 emails from one person.
DJ Chris. Yeah, DJ Chris features heavily this
called
week.
him dead today.
Yeah, I haven't put them all in because I think what must have happened was DJ Chris 2019 has clearly been binge listening to the podcast and then replying a Bugdate, a wish list, a question and a feedback to every single one. But they've all been within this week. So I put a few in, but I haven't put them all in because I was like, how many of you scrolling down the emails? Gee whiz. Okay.
Check my inbox and it's like 50 new messages. And I'm like, 48 of these are from DJ Chris.
So thank you, DJ Chris, if you're listening. We absolutely love the feedback and the stuff. And it genuinely made me laugh. It's not a bad thing, so keep them coming. But maybe keep them to a couple per week from now on. I'm assuming
now
you've
caught up.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Okay, so the first piece of feedback is from Derusa, and they say, way behind the... hold on a minute. Yeah, just say that. No, second guess myself for a second. Way behind the current episode, but just listen to the question about editing and EQ. Would just like to start off by saying that the whole podcast is awesome and really well put together. You notice people always say that before they tell us that we're doing something wrong. The only thing I would say is that the EQ side of things, Fox is really bass heavy, and when I'm in my car, full factory speakers and head unit, I generally have to turn the bass down all the way so everyone's at a reasonable level. You're right, Derusa. I have noticed that, and I do edit the podcast with studio monitor and headphones on, and it sounds reasonable in those, but when I listen to it in the car, it is very bass heavy. So I'll make a note from now on to turn the bass down on me a little bit. But I think it's mic proximity, because I speak with practically the mic right in my mouth, and it doesn't have any processing on it.
Yeah. So like if I grab the mic and I pull it up here like that, then I can get that Foxy voice.
You just gave me goosebumps. That's so funny.
So I'll make a note of that. Thank you for letting us know. And if anyone's got feedback like this, right, it's so valuable. Because obviously we want the podcast to be as good as it can. So if there's any time you're thinking, oh, that was annoying, or there's a weird sound, or Nearly said Maroon name. Cut that out. Foxy's doing too many ums or slags breathing too heavy. Anything like that, let me know and I can address it and we can make the podcast better. It's honestly not a bad thing to bring those up. Don't feel like you're like would be annoyed or upset or embarrassed. Let us know.
Yeah, just don't go back to like season 0 episodes of when I was a chain smoker and my microphone was, a duct tape headset from the ceiling. And
that just made me think and made me laugh. It's going to go off topic for a second, but I don't think there's ever been an improvement quite like DB's. His original audio, Oh man,
Don't bring DB up as the most embarrassing thing I've ever done to somebody. I still feel awful about it to this day. I think I said a comment to him about are you using your neighbour's microphone, like leaning out of your window, like just taking the mickey, and I meant to do it in such a comical way, but it just, when I listened to it back, it just
so rude.
Exactly. And it was just supposed to be a joke. I felt awful from that, and I genuinely, every time I speak to DB, I just have the biggest regret and shame, because I think DB's brilliant. He just really makes me laugh.
Amazing.
And I thought he would share the humour, but when I said it, I realised how awful it sounded, and it wasn't funny. So, yeah, sorry, Jessie, cutting you off there, but I had to get it off my chest.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did. I'm glad. It's good to get it out there.
Good job there, Foxy. Good job. Mm-hmm.
Way to put off the new peeps.
Right.
And he never made a video again.
Wait a minute. Wasn't that about the time that he disappeared for like a season and a half?
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. No,
yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. No.
Yep.
Lies. Oh, jeez, now feeling worse. Jessie, move us on quick. Dig me out of this hole. What does DJ Chris have to say?
DJ Chris says, DJ Chris again, in regards to the magic update concept, I had an awesome idea. What if you put potions on your weapons and equipment? Example, put a potion of decay in a cauldron and right click with your diamond sword, and then your sword will look corrupt and decaying. And whatever you hit a player or mob, they will get the withering effect. Interesting.
That's more of a wish list thing than
feedback.
I was like, wait a minute, this is feedback. We don't usually talk about feedback. I was like, I kind of want to talk about that, but this is the wrong section. Did you mess up?
Well, there was a few things I moved about because they didn't seem to be quite in the right place. But I read so many of DJ Chris's that could quite easily have ended up slipping into the wrong dock. Yeah,
well, me and Victim are about to have issues though.
Uh-oh. What did Victim say?
If you have a lot of feedback, news, bug updates, wishes, and questions, it's okay. We don't mind at all if you go over 2 hours. Go 3 or 4. It's fine. Just add more dance breaks. They act like we just got all the time in the world. And Foxy, you got unlimited time to edit. And listen, Foxy, the dogs are barking now as I'm talking. Great, right?
Oh, man. Okay. Do you know what? It would be great, wouldn't it, just to go on for as long as you needed to. But the reality of it is, from my side of the thing, moaning about editing a site, because obviously the longer it is, the more I've got to edit. But realistically, by the time you've sort of done 2.5 hours with the talking, your voice is a little bit tired. Yeah. You're feeling a little bit lethargic because you're trying to speak properly and you're trying to read all of the stuff and go through the docs. And to be honest with you, you just had enough. The last thing you want to do is go on for another hour. You just want to like turn it off and go and sit down for a little bit and just like not hear anything.
No different than a high energy stream. Yeah, after about 2 hours, like a stream day stream, you're done. Like, you're ready to go lay down. You're that drained. It's about the same effect as that. Yeah. And I know some people out there that don't do this wouldn't understand that, but a 2-hour stream, you're hyper focused. Like every monitor, you're watching something, you're watching chat, you're trying to play the game, you're doing everything. And then when it's over, you go from this insane energy level of on top of the world to I want to take a nap.
Yeah, exactly. I want to turn all the screens off and just sit and just let myself get back to a normal level. And yeah, it's very similar with the podcast. And, you know, I could genuinely listen to podcasts all day long, I think, because I do find them interesting. But when you're in it, it goes on a bit. By the time you got to 2.5 hours, you're ready to stop. 09 Patman says, Foxy, I think you could have some more guests on since your behind-the-scenes tactic with MrBeardstone worked. Come on the show or I'll ban you from Truly Bedrock. Let's hope you don't get stuck with that attitude, and let's also hope Jessie doesn't kill any monsters to become a dolphin. Anyway, really funny show in my opinion. Thanks for the great podcast once again. Yeah, I could threaten all of the other Truly Bedrock members with being banned if they don't come on the podcast. Absolutely. That could work out quite well for us, I think. Although some of them might just go, well,
stay away
from
it. Bad jokes, stay away from it. Bad jokes, stay away from it.
Don't do it. And I know exactly what you're thinking.
Save me.
Yeah. So Tyler B says, just wanted to say, I think it's perfect when you say some obscure random phrase that has nothing to do with anything you talked about at the end of the podcast, Foxy. I don't know what Tyler's talking about. I think all of your outros are just like, they're so planned and perfect.
I say the same thing at the end of every single podcast. I don't understand where this obscure random phrase has come from.
I know.
It's literally the same
beyond.
thing. I've been doing it since... Oh, my goodness. I don't think he's been listening to the end. He's making it up.
No, definitely not.
Wow.
Ow, that was my finger. Why are you biting my finger?
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I got nervous. Right,
okay,
anyway,
Princess.
if you would like to send us feedback, you can email us at news@theminecraftupdate.com, or you can fill in our handy feedback form that you can find on our website, or you can join the Discord and leave it in there. Well, that's enough of feedback. It is time, obviously, of course, for the news. And guys, there's just so many news this week. You wouldn't believe all of the news that we've got. It's news central, as it has been for the last few weeks. And I'm really elaborating how much news there is to try and at least make this section more than 30 seconds long. I've even put news in that's not news because I left it in from last week. So we've got even less news than I thought we did. Okay.
Well, that's not good then.
No,
I mean, are we going to have a news section from the community too?
community news.
Today I built a house in Minecraft. That's where you were going to go. I knew that's exactly where you were going to go with that.
Okay, first with Java Edition and the release of Minecraft Java Edition 1.19.2 Release Candidate 2. And that has done nothing. We're now releasing Release Candidate 2 for Minecraft 1.19.2 to fix a crash. That's all it says.
That's all it says.
Yeah, that is it. So, well done. Good job. Looking forward to the 1.19.2 official release, just like I did the 1.19.1, because that was so important. Right, moving on from Java Edition, and we're going into Minecraft Bedrock, which has had a couple of releases this week. We have had the stable release of 1.19.20, which came out on August the 9th, and that has had a surprising number of changes. The changelog on that is ridiculously long, but to be honest, there's not all that much interesting in it, really, that we haven't covered before. And
I was about to say, when that came out, I was looking at that and I was like, wait a minute. I remember us talking about all this weeks ago. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's because we also talk about the betas. Right.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Exactly. So, I mean, I haven't even bothered to go through it and make notes just because obviously we do cover these quite heavily through the news sections before. Is there anything, just flicking through there quickly, guys, that you have seen that you could pick up on that you think would be, worth talking about? I want to say
trader no longer spawning in water.
Is this the one with the coordinate copy and paste, or is that the beta?
That's already in there. That's already in.
Oh no, that's the beta.
I got mine turned on in game right now.
1.30. That's in the 1.30 changelog that we've got today.
But it's already in the game. I'm confused.
What, where you hold Control Alt and C and you copy your coordinates to?
Oh, you can copy it. Well, I know the toggle it on in game where it's in chat, like because I got a texture pack now that turns coordinates off of my screen because I really don't like that because we got literally the option where you open chat and coordinates are there.
Oh, really?
You can toggle it on right now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can toggle it on. There's a toggle under it's like profile or something like that. You turn it on and you can have coordinates there. So I had a friend make me a texture pack that removes coordinates off screen. I know it's so trivial, but it's just they're gone. And I love it so much more.
That's the first I've heard of that. I need to see that now. Not right now, but after the podcast. But yeah, that's really interesting because that's not been mentioned anywhere at any point by anyone.
Yeah, we talked about it in a podcast like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
The one the one with the buttons that there was nothing in the changelog about, but someone sent a screenshot. Yeah, see, that's not in my game.
It's in mine right now. Yeah, it is. I assure you, it's there.
I see now. I'm gonna have to go look.
I know I need to as well, but I daren't. If I load up Minecraft, I guarantee my podcast stuff will just go. No, I'm not doing it anymore, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to look. I'm going to move on. Jeez, I'm just very, very quickly trying to look through this changelog to see.
It's really
if there's
bothering
anything.
you, isn't it? It's really.
Yeah. There's there's nothing particularly exciting in it, but there is a massive amount of fixes and changes.
Yeah.
As usual, all of the deep darks just completely change. So if you reload your world, your deep dark's going to be different to how it was before. Not necessarily the layout, but there's going to be more sensors and catalysts and all that sort of stuff. Spectator modes had a bunch more updates to get it even closer to being good, but it's still obviously an experimental, so it really doesn't mean anything until that's released fully. And there's been a load of stuff for add-ons as well, so there's a lot of changes to those which need addressing. Particularly, actually, speaking of which, my placeable items add-on broke with 1.19.20, and I don't know, I think it's a bug, because I fixed it today, and what it said was less than 1/16 of the block length is within the required Y level. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? And so what I had to do to fix it was raise the item up by half a pixel or half a 16th of a block. So when I update Truly Bedrock and obviously put the new version of the pack on that, the placeable items will just be levitating off the floor or the surface they're on by not half a block, but half a 16th of a block, which is crazy. It's really odd. In 1.19.30, that toggle that you're looking at there that the audience can't see that says enable copy coordinate UI, which is in the creator panel of the game settings, enables you to actually copy and paste the coordinates by using Control, Alt, and C to get the coordinate where you are, and Control, Alt, and X to get a coordinate of the thing you're looking at. So yeah, I've not.
I mean, it kind of is already in there. If you turn that on TB, as an example, I'm just sending you another random screenshot in the Discord that people can't see. That there's buttons up there to copy and paste.
See, those buttons aren't in my game.
Yeah, they're in. Well, once you turn that on, they should be there because mine, I don't get it. Yeah, I could change it to my exact position or the block I'm looking at, and it'll copy those relative coordinates.
Okay, well, there's nothing about that in the change logs.
Huh. I'm so confused because since that's a thing now, I was like, yeah, I want coordinates off my screen.
Oh, I wish I could share this with people. Well, why don't you put it on the YouTube? No, I'm not doing. No, you just have to look in your Minecraft. Jeez. Right. Okay. So there is some really exciting stuff in this. Unfortunately, I can't see any sign of it in the changelog at all. But there you go. Of course, I'm even looking at the user interface section of the changelog, which has several bullet points, and none of them mention what Slack's looking at there. I wonder if
this has already been there. This has been here for weeks now.
I wonder if that's one of those things, like when they send out the changes to certain people, but not everyone, like one of those test things. You know how some people got the new achievement screen before everyone else, and some people got the new game world create screen and before everyone else. I wonder if it's one of those, or I wonder if everyone's got that.
How do you enable that thing?
The first
previous in the creator, the main menu, you enable that.
Well, no, I mean, how do you get to the second screen?
That's just a chat screen.
Chat. That's chat. That's literally chat.
See, I don't. Oh, I do have that now. Magic. Sorry, just wanted to check. It's magic.
Well, okay. From magic to more magic in the Minecraft beta and preview 1.19.30.21, which also has more spectator updates, including parrots sitting on a player's shoulder should now hop off when entering spectator mode. Animals and mobs with follow owner behavior no longer follow spectators. Animals and mobs with find mount behavior no longer try to mount spectators. I love the wording of that one.
Yeah,
spectator mode players won't have cold feet now, and Frostwalker enchantment does not affect the water. Mobs, they've fixed Hoglin and Zoglin hitboxes size to match Java Edition, which no idea whether that means they're bigger or smaller. They've changed some commands as well. The locate command now has ancient city with an underscore between ancient and city and things like that instead of just all one word to match Java Edition. They are leaving the old ones in, so you can still use the old ones, but they won't show up in the autocomplete bit. They have even added in the gameplay section of the patch notes a ability with your structure command block or structure command to actually enable you to put structures underwater and actually waterlog them as if they've been placed underwater, which I thought was really interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice.
This is where, the only mention of what Slack's just been talking about that's apparently been in his game for weeks. They've added keyboard shortcuts that allow players to copy either their current coordinates or the coordinates of a block. Control-Alt-C is the default for copying current coordinates, and Control-Alt-X is the default for copying coordinates of a selected block. Needs the Enable Copy Coordinate UI enabled in Creator Settings, which is what Slack's just been talking about. Pressing the Control-Alt keys together will no longer make the Alt key get stuck down. So I was watching IBX's toy. IBX's? Gee, what's happening to me today?
It's okay, Foxy. It's okay. Just breathe.
I was watching IBX Toycat's video today, and he was actually demonstrating this. And the range on what you can actually look at to get the coordinates of the thing you're looking at is pretty far. It was something like 40 or 50 blocks. I'm assuming it's probably the ticking area range. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, it was a long way that he could just look at a block and get that. And that's really interesting, because that shows that there is actually something in Minecraft Bedrock Edition that determines what the player is looking at. But that's totally unavailable to people like making add-ons and everything. So if that ability's there, it would be really useful for add-on makers and map makers to be able to use that, because it's just a really handy thing to have. Like, do you remember when I said to everyone, I'm going to make the wrench to be able to spin round blocks and stuff like that? And the reason I couldn't do it was because I couldn't determine what the player was looking at in order to get it to do that. And having that ability would be fantastic. So, yeah, it's not though, and that takes us on a wild tangent away from the news. Any thoughts on those things? I think they're going to be pretty useful for me being able to do that. What about you two?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I can't fully understand the implications and what it can do. Just from an outsider's perspective, I think it's cool.
Okay, so if you're playing Minecraft, right, and you've found a structure that you want to remember where it is, what you would normally do is either try and type it in chat, in which case your coordinates disappear. They don't obviously anymore, because Slack found this magical thing. Or you get a notepad and a piece of paper. Now all you need to do is hold Control and Alt and press C, and that copies it to your clipboard. So you can paste that in a notepad on your PC, you can paste it in chat, you can paste it anywhere. Or let's say you're in a creative...
Let's say Foxy died while he was AFK and come back to a death message like, oh no, Control Alt C, and now he has his coordinates where he died.
See, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So they're really useful things. And the other one where you're getting the coordinates of what you're looking at. For me, one of the things that annoys me most about Minecraft is flying around in creative mode, how slow you go. If you could just look at something in the distance and teleport to that, and then look at something in the distance and teleport to that, you can effectively get around a lot quicker.
I mean, you kind of can with the carrots versus the tildes.
You can, but you will always end up either in the floor or way too high up, because it's relative up and down as well, isn't it? You never go truly forward. You either go where you're pointing. So if your cursor's slightly up or slightly down and you're going a long way, you never quite end up where you intended to be. Whereas this is going to take you exactly where you're looking.
Well, I think it could be useful too if you're building, say, a farm or something like that, and you're like, am I lined up with that block over there? Let me just Control Alt X and then paste that and be like, yep, that's the right line. I don't have to guess if I'm one block to the left or one block to the right. I'm dead on where I need to be.
Exactly. I think that's going to be massively useful for a lot of people in survival and creative. So yeah, really happy about that. Good news, guys. Really good news.
Yeah, we'll add that to the good. Yeah.
Yeah. Iron bars, right, and white glazed terracotta are no longer missing from the creative mode inventory.
They're still missing from render distance of more than 50 blocks away, though. But that's
Well, that's a different story. Do you know, it's funny that, because we were in game at the same time the other day, and you were telling me about that happening, and I just happened to be piling up to world limit on quartz and gold ore to smash it all to bits and get lots of quartz and gold ore, and I was really high up thinking, I can see my wheat from much further away than I used to be able to see my wheat in my farm before it disappeared. I was quite high up in the world, whereas normally when I'm flying around my base, I don't have to be very high up at all, and all my wheat disappears. And I was thinking, I can see that from quite far away. And then you literally messaged me going, my mangrove roots are disappearing like vines. So they've obviously fiddled with something.
Oh, it's annoying because a mangrove. No, that's a different section of the podcast.
Yeah, wait to the Bugdate Slack. Wait. Jeez. Good news. More good news, peeps. You'll be happy to know that when on fire, the fire overlay no longer clips through the held items.
Wow, that's brilliant. This is good news.
It's going to change my life.
Yeah, well, mine no longer comes up more than like 8 pixels on screen. I'm just saying that got old. That had to be changed.
And that's kind of it. So yeah, there is some good stuff in there. Again, it is a pretty short changelog considering this is technically a minor update now, aren't they? The third numbers, but yeah, they normally got quite a lot of stuff in, as we could see by the 1.19.21 was 10 miles long. So yeah, relatively mild one, but I think some of those things are going to be absolutely essential. So that's brilliant. But unfortunately, that is all I've got. So unless either of you guys have got any news for me, we're going to have to move on.
No, that was too much news.
Yeah.
News. Wow. Okay. No, I'll cut it down next week. Don't worry about it, guys.
No, yeah.
Okay. So out of the
Don't worry,
news
you may.
and into the Bugdate finally, Slack. I know you're chomping at the bit to get this one off your chest. So come on, what's your problem? What's been bugging you this week?
Mangrove roots don't render from more than like 5 chunks away. So if you're growing like custom ones and you want to build a custom little forest, but you don't want it to be, so thick that you can't see the sky, you plant some mangrove trees, right? And no, it looks like some noob joined your world and chopped out all the trees and you got floating trees everywhere. But you can still see the moss that appears on them. And
so you can see like half blocks, but you can't see the full blocks.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It hurts my head and it annoys me.
It's
really
weird,
annoys
isn't it?
me.
Because like leaves, which are semi-transparent, and I was checking this out as well while I was piling up on my gold and my quartz, just to sort of, after you'd messaged me, leaves will change from having transparency between the leaves to being fully solid at a certain distance in order to sort of, aid the game's performance. You would think mangrove roots would do the same thing. So maybe when they've got that sort of change state, there isn't anything to change to. There's just no like full block of a mangrove root. It just doesn't exist. So it's just going invisible.
Yeah, because it makes no sense. It's like we know that vines disappear. We know that like the weeping vines, they all disappear. And my brain was trying to assign logic to this. I was like, is it items that have user interface? No, because chests disappear, but you can still see barrels. But hoppers disappear, but you can see fences. So it's not hitbox related. I don't understand why some things render and some things don't. Like fire. Fire is a prime example. Fire. You all know this. Fire in the nether, if it's like more than 50 blocks away, you can't see it. But I can see a campfire from like 50 chunks away, and I can see the fire burning on it. I can't see the
smoke.
Yeah, but I can see the flames moving and everything.
Yeah, it's bizarre what they choose to do that with. Like my placeable items, again, bringing those up, you can see them from miles away because they're a block and they're just registers as a block. And you would think mangrove roots would be the same. It's a not full, semi-transparent block. So why not just render it? I don't get it. Really bizarre.
But it's like the campfire is an example. You can see that there's a clear difference. It just like you were talking about with the leaves, how from the leaves up close, they're semi-transparent, but from far away, they look like a solid block. The campfire is kind of the same thing. Once you get so close, you can distinctly see the top of the campfire and you can see the fire burning. But when you get further away, you can still see the fire moving, but it's like it's surrounded by a black box and you can't see the campfire.
Interesting.
It's like there's a hidden texture related to that. And it's like, well, why can't we have access to all these hidden textures so we can make packs where we can see stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you posted actually on Twitter, didn't you, when you were in your enraged state? And I found the screenshot that you put on really funny because I looked at it and there wasn't anything there. And clearly, obviously, that was the point you were trying to make. But from the without any context, it's like everything's missing. Well, what's missing? I can't see what's missing. It just really made me laugh. Like, yeah, brilliant. Okay. Jessie, has anything been bugging you this week?
No, not really. I haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. Well, I only got one, and it goes again to being back on my pillar of quartz and gold ore. And that was that I got to the top and I was hungry. And I was, obviously, you're placing the blocks. You're looking down to place the blocks as you're jumping up. And then you're looking down to dig the blocks back down again. So I was looking down at the block at world height, trying to eat a carrot or golden carrot. And it's like, no, you can't, you can't place a block here at build height. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to place a block. I'm trying to eat a carrot. So I looked away from it, and then it would let me eat it. And then look, obviously then I was full. My hunger was full. But even then looking back down at the block and clicking with my carrot, it kept giving me the build limit error. And I just thought, well, that's like the weirdest bug ever. You would think it would only do it if you were holding a block, right?
Yeah.
But no, you can hold anything, any item, or try and eat or something. If you use that right click while you're looking at a block at build limit, you just get an error.
That's so funny.
You didn't say the magic word.
Yeah, exactly. Because the game works perfectly, remember? They fixed all the bugs last week.
Of course.
Okay, we got some community bugs. If you would like to, if you've experienced a bug, if something's been bugging you and you want to let us know so we can read it out the podcast again, you can email news@theminecraftupdate.com or fill out our feedback form or put it on the Discord. And 2 people did. Dragoon and DJ Chris has been back at it. In fact, DJ Chris left about 27 bug reports, but I've just put one in.
Oh. Well, we can start with Dragoon, who says, are you guys getting the invalid session when logging in? So your skin won't load and you can't access the marketplace. Not that I'm bothered. I thought it was just me, but Mr. Balrog had it on their stream the other day, and a few others have mentioned it. So annoying, it can take 4 to 5 relogs to get it sorted. Yes, I have had that issue. That it won't let me, or like it just says invalid, and I can't do anything, and then I have to like keep redoing it, even though my account is logged in. It's weird.
See, I haven't had that. I have had it a long time ago where it wouldn't log me in, or when I was logged in, it wouldn't let me like go on servers or anything like that. But I've never had anything saying invalid session. And I've also obviously had it where it's just deleted all of my skins, which has been really useful. But I haven't had that one specifically. What about you, Slack?
No, I don't think I've ever had that one. I've had the skin one happen all the time, but I don't think I've ever had that one. That one's weird.
Bizarre. Well, Dragoon, if you can find a bug link for that, we can obviously put that in the change log for, not the change log, what's it called? The notes, the show notes for this thing. We can definitely get it upvoted. The thing that we do on a Thursday, Slag. Oh, look, first, I feel good today, but for some reason my mouth isn't working with my brain, so I'm having an off day. Give me a break. It's not my fault.
Okay. Well, DJ Chris here. Says a Minecraft Bedrock bug for Xbox One. Whenever I play Minecraft on split screen with my little brother, it causes lag when he joins and sometimes crashes the game.
Little brothers do that. They're good at causing lag. Yeah. Yeah. So, like sons, daughters, cousins, they're absolutely amazing at crashing the game and causing loads of lag. It's not Bedrock.
Patrons.
It's your family. Patrons, yeah. Patrons are the best at it. Now, we haven't had any problems not that they've probably just got sick of complaining, to be honest with you. I don't think we've had many problems on the servers for a long time. But I might just not know. Jeez.
Every time we say something about a problem, Foxy yells at us.
Do your kids have this problem, Jessie? When you log in and play with your kids, do they just cause infinite lag and crash your world?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just put that to Ethan filling the world with lava and withers and mobs, but, it is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So whatever you do, do not play Minecraft with your family and all will be fine. That's the end of the bug date. Again, like I say, if you've got any bugs that you want to let us know about, then email us or fill in the feedback form or join the Discord and let us know on there. So the things that annoy us to the things that we potentially really want in the game, or the things that we really wish weren't in the game. We're going into the wish list. We've got a couple of community wish list things. In fact, we've got quite a few. We're going to start with ours, and we're going to start with Jessie. What do you want in Minecraft, or what do you not want in Minecraft?
I saw a suggestion on there that says weather wet things. So the suggestion reads, when it rains, things could get soaked or wet. For example, when a tree gets wet, the leaves get wet and you can go under it and get water drops. And I thought about that because obviously there are there are some in the game that already are kind of like that. Like when it snows, you see like the leaves change and all of that.
Yeah, and if you've got snow layers on a leaf, then snow particles drop from the bottom of the leaf.
Yeah. And I just thought that was kind of cool. So I thought, it would be neat if like you saw like little puddles on the ground or something that you can't collect from or anything, but just add little atmosphere type things. I just thought that was neat. And I don't hate that idea.
I really like that idea, actually. And then it reminds me of when I first started playing my old, very, very, very old Foxy's mod mix. Basically, it was a mod pack I threw a load of mods in myself. I couldn't understand why I was walking around and there seemed to be like little 1-block holes full of water, but they weren't. They were puddles. And I was relatively new to Minecraft at the time. I think I've been playing it a while, but new enough to not realise that was part of the mod. So when I was playing vanilla, I'm like, why is there no puddles on here when it was raining? So yeah, a little puddles, water dripping from a tree. That would be great because like you could put a cauldron under there and get the water in your cauldron. I think they're lovely ideas. So yeah, I'm up for that. What do you think, Slack?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. You want to collect water? Use dripstone or use a cauldron.
Yeah, don't use natural methods, like rain.
Yeah, well, you can with a cauldron. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What have you got
gonna
against
water
water,
bottles?
things being wet? Come on. Of all the things to go, I don't like that. Why
Hey, Foxy,
this?
Foxy. What happens with that bug when you turn on RTX and everything's shiny and it looks wet?
Yeah, but that's RTX. You can't count RTX as Minecraft because only
literally
5
how it
people
look.
have
They're
got
like,
it.
oh, Jeff's like,
and
we
4 of
already
those
got
are paid
something
by
like that.
Mojo.
We can just make all Minecraft look like that. Yeah,
No, I don't think it means make everything shiny and look wet. I just think it means affect things so that they become damp, like the tree leaves and puddles and things.
All of your sand becomes muddy sand.
All your sand turns
All
to
your
mud.
sand turns to mud and it looks like a swamp now. Your beach looks like a swamp. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but wouldn't it be nice if sand that was touching water was a little bit darker, like actual wet sand?
No.
Yes, it would.
No, that would trigger me.
So good. It would look so good. More immersive. I'm here for it.
Jessie, just wait out there a second, Slack. Jessie, just come into my office with me a minute because I need to talk to you about. Yeah. I think. Don't tell Slack, but we should put this in the good ideas bin.
I think so too. I think two
so y'all know, if you're all planning this, I'm going to use my veto status.
We should we'll tell him that we
just like we can veto somebody in TB. I'm going to veto this.
Don't worry, Jessie. We'll go back in and I'll play it cool. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay. Slack. Don't worry. We've decided to tear the whole thing up. Crumple it up. It's going in the bin. Okay. We're on your side.
That's the wrong
we
bin.
Totally agree.
You threw it in the right bin. It goes in the left bin.
No,
So
I didn't.
I didn't hear the shredder.
Hang on a minute. There you go. It's been shredded. Okay. I need to shred the noise on my stream deck. Okay, so unfortunately, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that's not made it into the good ideas bin. What about your Slack? what would you like in the game?
Well,
not to be in the game?
I didn't see nothing good. See, I saw that wet things idea, and I'm glad we agreed that that's complete rubbish.
Yeah, it's total junk.
I didn't even pick that. Yeah. And then I saw this other rubbish idea of night mode toggle, which I would actually be for because, playing on a server with perpetual sleepers, you never get nighttime. But it's nothing like me and Jessie both based at a Mushroom Island before, and she literally slept every night.
This comes up more than my dodge rolling.
Yeah, right? I'm never going to hear the end of this. It was 2 years ago, Slack.
It ain't over as long as I'm breathing.
We were on a break. Oh, jeez. Okay,
Jessie, so anytime Jessie says in game, "Can I get sleep?" I immediately put a bed in my hand. Yeah, sure. Didn't see that message.
Okay, so if you didn't catch this at home, this is a night mode toggle for build place. Now, both Jessie's and Slack's were actually Minecraft Earth feedback, but I think they both suit Minecraft as well, so that's absolutely fine. And the idea is you could just basically have a toggle where you could flick the game to night mode to just see your build at nighttime. I'm not sure I think this is a good idea for survival, but certainly in creative mode, or even if it just affected your client, then yeah, I'm up for that, because that would be good. So you could take pictures of it.
I mean, you can kind of do that now with RTX, but you can go into a world, turn on RTX, make it nighttime, turn off render clouds, I think is what it is. And then any world you go into, it'll be dark, or it'll be exactly what it was. So if it was middle of the day and you did that, it'll be middle of the day.
But
if
it's
it
not
was
quite
nighttime,
as
it'll be
convenient
nighttime.
as just having a little
Oh,
toggle.
I agree. About as bad as that wet idea, you know?
So you don't like this idea then?
Well, I like it, but it never happened because it just feels too cheaty unless you get like a night vision or reverse night vision potion.
That'd be interesting. What I'd really like, and I think I've mentioned it before, I'd love a photo mode. And if you could like have a little in-game camera or something like that you had like filters and buttons on, a night mode would be a really good one for that. So you could like, not a night vision one so you can see clearly at night. I think that would be a good one, but a night mode just to make it look like it's dark and see your build. I think that'd be great. So yeah, that combined with a photo mode, I would be very tempted
mode,
to put in the good ideas bin.
Mm.
What do you think, Jessie?
I like what you said, not necessarily what they said. So I put your idea in the good ideas bin.
Okay.
Yeah, the night mode thing can just go into the shredder.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's two. I mean, just one thing in the good ideas bin so far. What I've wished for this week is I found something that made me laugh, and it's probably not a very nice thing that I laughed at it because I think it was clearly written by somebody with a very limited knowledge of Redstone. But what they've asked for, and it's got 2 votes on the feedback system, is an inverted sculk sensor that emits redstone when the vibrations stop.
Well,
so I mean, obviously you can do that by putting a redstone torch next to it, or a redstone dust into a redstone torch. So you can very, very easily invert a sculk sensor if you wanted to do that. But I'm more concerned about what's going on in that person's world that is causing so many vibrations that they need to detect it when there aren't any.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's it face's brother causing all the lag.
Maybe.
I mean,
I'm
just
trying to
based
think
on the
of
moon.
what maybe like they need something to turn off when. I have no idea. I was just thinking like maybe like mob farm. Like I can't even think. I can't even think what that might be useful for.
No.
I mean, okay, so while the vibrations are going on, and let's say mobs are falling near it, okay? And every time a mob falls, it runs it through, I don't know, a decay clock. And then when mobs stop falling or anything like that, suddenly you have a redstone lamp that goes out, and all of a sudden your room goes dark. Oh no, you know, it's stopped working. I don't know.
But you just put a redstone torch at the end of your line to invert it, wouldn't you? You don't need this inverted sculk sensor.
Can you take a comparator strength signal out of the shulk sensor? Or sculk sensor?
Yes, you can. Yeah, depending.
Okay,
you get different.
So then, I would just take a comparator out of it and into a block and invert a torch. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's the same as asking for an inverted observer. Or, you know, an inverted repeater. It's like, don't need it.
Yay, dogs are barking again. Yay, I love this.
So, yes, I thought it was a very silly idea, but then I felt a little bit guilty, obviously, that the person probably doesn't know a great deal about redstone. So I retract my laughing at them, but secretly on the inside, I'm still giggling. And that takes us on to giggling at the people that have left us wish lists from the community. Okay, Softboy wants honey pistons, and they say 1 piston combined with 1 honey bottle makes 1 honey piston. The functionality of the honey piston would be a block dropping mechanic. The honey piston would not be able to pull in the same extension it pushed, but would be able to pull if it did not just push a block. I think this would be a great compromise to the sticky piston block dropping bug on Java and add some new functionality to pistons. I also believe its functionality is no more difficult to understand than a comparator. I'm going to have to read that again because I didn't make any sense to me. The honey piston would not be able to pull in the same extension it pushed, but would be able to pull if it did not just push a block.
You're asking for it to save and store data like XP. Oh, did I push this block? Did I not?
Yeah. So what? So I'm imagining that the honey piston is extended. Then you put a block in front of it, and it will pull that block back. But when it pushes that block out again, and it retracts, it can't pull that block back. Is that right?
That all went way over my head, so I'm no help here.
Okay. And Slack's gone away for a minute. Yeah. Soft Boy, it sounds like you've got a really interesting idea in your head there, but unfortunately, from the description you've given us, I don't understand it well enough to be able to really get to grips with a use case for this or how it might work and integrate with Minecraft. So unless Slack, you're back now again.
Yeah, I don't know how I would incorporate that in, because could push a block but not pull. I mean, for a two-way flying machine that didn't need to do any crazy stuff, maybe, but that's kind of what a normal piston does. It pushes without pulling.
I would really like, Softboy, if you could leave us some feedback this week and let us know some of the design ideas you think this would be useful for, because I think that's what we're missing from this wish list, so we can get our heads around it a bit more. But it does sound interesting, so I'm not going to put it in the bad ideas bin, but for right now, it's not going in the good ideas.
We need more. We need more feedback.
From Cucumbers, we have Hi Update Crew. I've been thinking about the inventory lately due to Exuma's video on the subject. I think what this game needs is an inventory expansion. Mojang wants to come up with a creative solution to the problem. For example, we asked for lava boots, they gave us striders. But sometimes we need a good, straightforward answer, not some revolutionary, super unique idea. Mojang is afraid to go with the straightforward answer of expanding the inventory, but that's what we need. I think adding 1, 2, or even 3 more rows to the inventory would be good. Also, adding 1 more slot to the hotbar, but no more, because then people can't use the number keys to switch between slots. What are your thoughts? Sorry for the book. Keep up the great work. So, I mean, we at this point have talked inventory to death, right? Like, I think it's something that at this point in time, everybody agrees on. Everybody thinks we need a better inventory update. I personally would like many, many, many more inventory slots, just because
Bundles?
No, go away. Bundles, throw them out. Garbage. But yeah, I do agree that it seems like they want to stay away from like straightforward answers. I mean, the backpack mods have been added in Java modded for I don't even know how long at this point. They've been around for as long as I've been playing modded, it feels like. And they just don't do it. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution there is if they're just not wanting to do it.
They just want to do it their way. They tried with bundles, and wasn't shulker boxes their answer to backpacks anyway?
Yeah, forever ago.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm trying not to go into a negative Nancy on this one, because like we've and everybody else has beat around this one forever, and now we're getting feedback because somebody else did a video on it. It's just like,
I think we're going to be getting or talking about inventory stuff for a while, because I think a lot of people are hoping that we get some sort of view on it, at least from Mojang, even if it's not announced at Minecon this year. So I think we're going to be talking about it for a while. So I think we should, take the time to go over it. Maybe not in as crazy amounts of detail, but yeah. If you've got anything to say on it, Slack, then absolutely.
No, nothing that we haven't covered before. I would like from my hotbar to have a multi-toggle option. So like if I hit 1 and I could have the little scroll wheel pop up, so I could have like choose between my fortune pick and my silk pick, and maybe each slot having 3 or 4 new slots. Other than that, I don't really know what to do with the inventory.
The problem is, I think, that Mojang have got is the fact that the inventory's been an issue for so long that go back all the way almost to the beginning of Minecraft mods, there were inventory mods. There were sortable chests, bigger chests, smaller chests, better ender chests, bigger inventories, and they've existed forever. And there's so many different iterations of them and how they've worked that Mojang probably don't want to just either feel like or look like they've copied someone else. They want to do something unique and interesting. And I think because there's been so much done, there's nothing left really. There's a very, very small area, or you'll have to be incredibly, imaginative or creative to come up with something that is unique that does the same job. So I think they're just in this situation, from everybody's point of view, is they just need to, swallow that pride and just go with it. It's a simple, easy solution and put it in. I totally agree. Rather than trying to come up with something fancy like a bundle that everybody hated and, they still can't actually make work on touch screens. So,
no.
Yeah.
I mean, like Diablo 2, the playing that vanilla, the inventory was a nightmare. And then I started playing that modded years ago. And the first thing that, a modded server usually does with that is increase the size of your inventory. And at first it just felt wrong because you're just going to carry more junk around all the time. It's kind of like 7 Days to Die. 7 Days to Die inventory by default is like Minecraft. It's like limited to nothing. But almost every mod out there makes the inventory like 50 by 50. It's just absolutely insane. And at first I was a big no for that. Just no, just bad. But the more I played with the inventory space larger on modded things, I enjoyed it. So yes, please give us that. Just, I don't know how to execute it other than saying big inventory.
It needs to be bigger unless they're going to come up with something really game changing. And I think they really do run the risk of going down the modded route doing that because all of the little rubbish items that you pick up, like seeds and flowers and zombie flesh and strings, particularly late game when you've already got a full inventory full of blocks, or when you break, you may be working with ores or something that when you break it, it changes to a different type of block because you've used a fortune pickaxe on it or something else. There's just so many. We need more space unless they're going to go, okay, we're going to implement a system that enables you to deal with these new items in a different way. And I just can't see them doing that yet. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, Big Low.
Big Low says, I guess this could be a wish list item, but being able to stack more than 16 eggs in a stack.
Oh, that's a nice, simple one.
Yeah, like ender pearls and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's look at that in terms of just increasing stack size in general, not necessarily just for like 16 egg items or like one unstackable items, just like stack size in general. What do you guys think?
Well, that would be one way to potentially solve the inventory issue.
Would it? Do you ever need more than 64 blocks of a particular type?
Really?
Yes.
How many times do me
All
and
the
you
time.
go to build some kind of farm and we have a whole inventory of nothing but stone and we've run out multiple times?
Okay, yeah, but they're not like general use case scenarios, are they? There's not very often just in your general gameplay.
Let's increase the size of a stack by 5 times or 4 times. So instead of 64, you got what, 6, 12, 18, 240 something or some odd number?
256.
All right, so now you can hold 256 in a stack. Imagine how much more stuff you can pick up and how much you, instead of holding like 3 stacks of leaves, you only need 1 stack of leaves now, Jesse. So you can have multiple stacks. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I build trees. Do you know how often I need like 8 stacks of wood and then like 5 stacks of each kind of leaf? Yeah, absolutely. I would love if I could have bigger stack sizes.
Yeah, I get it from that perspective, and obviously when you're mining, that's a good perspective. But it still doesn't solve the overall problem because you're still going to be picking up all that junk, which is taking up your inventory space. And I think it's the junk, from my perspective, that's the problem because you get your inventory organized, you've got all the blocks that you think you're going to need in there, and then after 5, 10, 15 minutes of building, you've been to your shulker boxes, you pick this up, you broke that block. All of a sudden, you've just got a load of random stuff in there that you didn't intend to start with, but you kind of need. So, yeah, maybe a mix of bigger stacks and more inventory space.
Well, you would have to change your mentality on some things. Like, if you go to do a project now and you're like, man, I need to grab glass, you'll grab 4 or 5 stacks.
Mm-hmm.
While if the stack size is increased by 4 times, you would only typically need to grab 1.
True, but if you need different colors of glass and you need glass panes as well, or if you need, you're going to need chains, but you don't want to craft all of your iron into chains, but you're not sure how many you need, you're still going to carry lots of different things.
I would agree. So either give us a bigger inventory or they're going to have to come up with some revolutionary way to deal with the item stack. But increasing stack size, I'm not opposed to.
No, and I don't see the point in having 16 in a stack. And a lot of the like non-stackable items in the game, fair enough, armor and tools and things like that. But I think anything that's not something you utilize like a tool or armor, I think why is it limited to a stack? Or a single item, sorry. I think everything should be stackable.
It's kind of like, what is it? The argument they use for potions is because of PvP. Let me have that as a toggleable feature then,
Yeah, well, I don't see that as an argument, because if you're doing PvP with somebody, you can only make so many potions. If someone's going to take the time to make a full inventory of potions that are stacked, then, good for them. They've come up with a good system. I don't know. Oh, jeez. Kiwi, save us from the inventory. Kiwi says, hey all, I was thinking back through the last couple of years of updates after your conversation about too many world gen changes. While I agree with you, 3, to an extent, I also realised by far my favourite recent update was 1.16, the Nether update, which of course overhauled the entire dimension. I would personally really love an end update similar to the Nether one, updating the generation, adding end biomes, mobs, and maybe even more armor tool types. I think it would really revitalise a currently pretty boring part of the game. Thoughts?
Oh, please me first, please.
Yeah,
please.
Go for it.
Nether update, they only fiddled with it once.
Yeah.
One update, boom, bam, done. We're getting updates to our biomes and world gen every update now. I think that's where our complaint is. Yeah, every minor update. Yeah. That's where the difference is. I love the Nether update, but it was boom, bam, done.
But it wasn't. Well, it was intended, but we still ended up like, oh, the Nether roof, we've messed that up.
That's true.
We'll bring that out in the next one. Oh, the biomes are different to Java Edition. Okay, we'll bring that in line with Java Edition. Oh, it doesn't match on the same seed as Java Edition. Okay, we'll bring. And so every minor update from that, this is where it started. This is just where it began. The Nether update was I think one of the first times where they just continuously fiddled with world gen. But it's only recently, this sort of last year, maybe 2 years, that we've been getting so many big minor updates. Before, minor updates were hotfixes and had a couple of changes in, but now there's just so much stuff in them, and it's all world gen changes. And yeah, that's exactly what Slack said. That's the frustration. So I'd love an end update, but I don't want an end update for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and please only give us one.
Yeah.
Unless it's so game breaking that it has to be patched. Then change world gen. Oh, this new biome in the end didn't generate, and these islands are now void. Okay, I can understand that.
But those bugs shouldn't get in.
Wrong.
That shouldn't happen.
Should
if it doesn't work, right, when you release it the first time, then something in your quality control is wrong, and you need to go back to the drawing board for the next update you do. Forget it, leave it, stuff. It's in the game now. That's what you've put out as if it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, tough.
I think we're on a slippery slope here. I just want to point out this is the unofficial Minecraft update.
Oh, it's just so annoying though, because it's like you see this all the time in game development now, and I don't want to bash the developers at all. I know it's a really high pressure situation they're in. I know there's a lot goes on with it that none of us understand, but it's not just Minecraft, it's all these games. They release a game, it's not ready. They release it late, it's not ready, and there's just forever fix after fix after fix after fix. And you're after months in before you've got a playable game. And Minecraft's no different. It's the mentality of this, it'll be okay, we'll fix it later, and it's not good enough.
You mean the game that I pre-ordered and paid $60 for, and I downloaded a 200 gig game for, on launch day gives me a 300 gig update because the game wasn't ready?
Yeah. Well, I can't remember what game it was now, but it was on the podcast I listened to, Computer Game Show. They were talking about when they were selling a particular game when it came out, the DVDs that had the game content on didn't even have the game content on because the game wasn't ready. They were relying on day one download for it to work. Yeah. And you're just like, well, it's wrong. It's wrong. If it's that bad, stop. Yes, okay, a couple of the shareholders your share price is going to go down, and a couple of the fat cats at the top are going to have to wait a week before they get the money back. But you're going to get more money putting a good game out later than you are going to be putting a bad one out early.
Yeah, it's
Agreed.
like now there's games that show up on Steam that they're like early access.
Oh, it's all early access now.
$39.99,
yeah.
And it's just in development.
I saw an advert for a game the other day. I thought, that looks really good. And I saw early access and thought, no, because it's not ready. They're not even putting half the features.
Right, but they want your real money for it.
Yeah. Well, it's cheaper. Yeah, great. But why do I want to play a game that's not finished? I want to know that I'm playing the finished article.
Don't worry. In 2 years, you'll be able to download the rest of the game if they don't go bankrupt.
Oh, it's crazy. Honestly, it really does. It's really started to irritate me over the last couple of years. This, not just from Minecraft, the whole games industry as a whole. And yeah, games are getting harder to develop. They're getting more complicated. There's higher demands. There's more people playing. The cost of development's going up all the time. I get it. And people don't want to pay as much for the games, and they expect updates forever and ever and ever. I get it. It's a difficult situation. But at the moment, the outcome is wrong, and there needs to be a solution in place that fixes it. And whether that means that players have to change their mindset and not be so demanding, or whether it means developers need to change their mindset and, tell the investors it's going to take longer and cost more money, fair dues. Make a better game.
That's like somebody higher up in Microsoft hounding Mojang saying, hey, this update needs to be ready. This marketplace content needs to be ready because we need to make money.
Well, I know, exactly. It's wrong. That's the wrong attitude.
Agreed.
Jeez. Okay. I'm glad we're in the wish list section. It's so happy, all of these things that we want. Okay, Jessie, what's 09 Patman got to say?
09 Patman says, I think that it would be great if you could craft an iron knife and then use it on a pumpkin to make a better Halloween effect, and then place down a lantern to light it up. This would make for better decoration. Plus, you could use the way you carve your pumpkin, or you could choose the way you carve your pumpkin. That just isn't Minecraft.
No, that sounds... How would you carve a pumpkin? There's the whole bunch of game mechanics there that don't exist, and I think is far too tricky and delicate to put in. And I really don't like the idea that there's knives in Minecraft.
Yeah, me either.
I know we got swords. That's fair enough, and we got bows and things, but I think knives are such an issue around the world these days that I don't think people should be carrying knives in Minecraft.
I see where they're going with the innocent fun of it, but no, because you don't know what somebody's going to carve into their pumpkin. No.
Well, yeah, that as well. No. Yeah, true. Didn't think about that. Yeah. Sorry, 09 Patman, but that one is going in the bad ideas bin. DJ Chris is back, Slack.
DJ Chris here. I think Minecraft could need some dragon to tame and ride to help with fantasy. I also think Minecraft need backpack, maybe even ender backpack and dodge rolling. Love the podcast.
Do you know what? I like this DJ Chris. Speaking my language. Did you see how they got me with that one? That was one of the ones I nearly left out, but then I saw dodge rolling it. I was like, no, that's going in. Yes. I think, didn't Mojang make a stance a long time ago saying we are absolutely dead against backpacks? We won't have anything to do with backpacks.
I think so.
Because I know in the marketplace with you can get the persona items and things like that where you can like get your own t-shirt and jumper and all that sort of stuff. You're not allowed as a creator to make anything that resembles backpacks as persona items. It's just outright no. So I don't see Mojang going down the backpack route, to be honest with you. I like them, but then they are kind of just shulker boxes.
Yeah.
I want backpacks. I'm always going to want backpacks. There's never going to be a time that I don't want backpacks. That's my opinion.
Well, I'd like backpacks, but I think, sometimes you've got to be semi-realistic.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure. But I don't care. I still want them.
Okay, and they said tameable dragons. I mean, a tameable flying mob would be kind of cool without the elytra. I mean, we got horses. I mean,
they don't fly.
I want a Pegasi.
Right, a Pegasus or something like that. Minecraft, I think it was you all who brought it up here a while back. Why isn't there more
mythical
stuff?
Yeah, I think tameable flying something or other would be great.
Agreed.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Wouldn't require in-game.
Why? No, I think even if it required endgame, can you imagine how majestic it would be to be flying around on like a winged horse or a dragon or something like that? It'd be amazing. Just turn up at someone's base and just park in your dragon.
Yeah, it would be great. I just think it needs to be something that you could obtain in the overworld. Maybe a little bit harder to, what's the word I'm looking for? Tame. Instead of like a horse, you can just use an apple or something like that. Maybe you need to use something specific to tame a flying creature in the overworld. That way you don't have to have an elytra on.
So you make a potion out of phantom membranes that you can feed to an animal and then it grows wings for a certain amount of time.
I'm fine with it being permanent.
Yeah,
but,
I'm like, no, if I'm gonna put all
I don't
this
want to suddenly
effort
be
in.
flying. Don't want to be suddenly flying my horse and they just drop out of the sky and in the middle of the ocean and be like, well, it's nice knowing you.
Yeah, well, it couldn't happen with your Elytra.
It's true.
That takes me back to playing Ark with Jack. That was one of the best things about playing Ark, was just when you've got an army of dragons and they're all just parked outside your base and you just hop on one and you fly off and you can just go anywhere. You can land on top of a mountain or you can land on the beach and you can just, well, the dragons on there are just so OP. You could just take on everything. You can go swooping through canyons. That's amazing. It's one of the best feelings. I'd love that in Minecraft. Yes,
yeah,
please.
especially something that you can access early game. I'd love it.
So we adding this in the good ideas bin.
I mean, well,
Yes.
I know you're going to do it anyway because of dodge rolling.
Okay, another one for the good ideas bin then. Amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. If you've got something you wish was in Minecraft or something you really wish wasn't, then please do send us an email, fill out the form, or join the Discord and let us know. Just to remind you, the email address is news@theminecraftupdate.com. And believe it or not, you can also use that to ask us a question. Speaking of questions, guys, it's the questions section.
Oh, question section already?
Yeah, we're nearly around 20 minutes. It's because we had so much news, you see. That's why we're running so late. Good job we got a fair few questions to get through. The Alien Doctor starts by saying, hey, been loving the podcast episodes. I was wondering what your thoughts are on using live stream footage in videos and whether it's something that any of you would consider doing, seems though you have been enjoying live streaming so much. It's something that I have noticed Silent doing much more for his TB videos, and until I watched his stream VODs, I didn't realise that he was even doing it. So I don't think it's always super noticeable like you might think at first, assuming you only record the gameplay without all of the other Streamlabs stuff, like overlays and music, for example. Thanks. For me, I'm too lazy is my problem. I have done it before where I used to always record my stream as well as streaming it, so that if I needed to, I could cut stuff up and put it in a video. But I generally find that the way I speak on stream and the way I engage with chat and stuff like that doesn't really make for potentially good video content, or at least I don't think it does. Maybe it would. Maybe people would enjoy it. But I think my biggest issue would be then going back through it all and watching it all to see if there's anything worth actually putting in. Because believe it or not, when I get to the end of the stream, I have no idea what I've just been doing for the last 2 hours. I've just sort of been bumbling along doing it. I can't remember what I've been saying unless anybody's clipped something. So for me, I think it's a great idea, but I can't imagine myself doing it. What about you, Slack?
Laziness is the biggest there. I try to, if I know I'm going to go live and I'm going to try to work on a task, I'll try to record a clip before and potentially one after stream, but I don't want to go through 2 hours of footage of me for 2 minutes somewhere in the video. I did something in my recording voice and search for it. No, it's just not worth the headache. The only other viable option would be to record it and just splice out parts and do voiceovers, but I never was a fan of voiceovers.
Yeah, that's true. I've not watched Silent, so I don't know how he does it. So yeah, don't know. What about you, Jessie?
The way Silent does it is he'll let stream know like he's about to record a clip, and then he records the clip, and then he goes back into like streamer mode. And that's the way I've seen a lot of people do it. And if I were more focused and better at it, I think that would be really helpful for me to do. But I can't. I have two different modes. I have recording mode and I have streamer mode, and they are very different. So I have recorded clips while streaming, but it's usually like in a Discord stream. Like if I'm Discord streaming, I'll record a clip, just no problem. But if I'm like on Twitch, weird, right? It's weird. Yeah.
It feels weird. It's like the episodes I do are more private recordings, and when I record something live, it's just like, what's the point? A bunch of people didn't seen it. I
get uncomfortable. I get like really awkward. I'm just like, I'm just like, nope, can't turn on the Jessiie B voice like in like a live setting. It's difficult because I mean, I'm sure people have noticed from podcast to live stream to, you know, my videos, they're three very different voices. Like me here is much more relaxed. My voice is probably like nearly an octave lower. Like it's just normal. It's normal me talking. It's fine. But in my videos, I am like, I'm like squeaky. I'm like way up there. And it's just natural. It's like phone voice.
When T-Man joins a voice chat with me, he's always like, say something, because he could tell exactly what I'm doing by my voice. Because he's like, you got a recording voice, you got a live voice, and you got just a chilling voice.
I just can't imagine being focused enough throughout the stream to be able to concentrate on what I'm going to record next. I'm just so haphazard. See, I stream. If I, like the other day, I'm recording a video and I get to a point where I know I've got to do a lot of manual stuff that doesn't require anything to record really, other than just, digging out a big area or cutting down a load of trees or, placing loads of blocks. So I think, this would make for good stream material. And you stream until you either got bored or the job's finished, and then you do your clips afterwards. That's how I normally do it. I can't imagine going, I'm going to record a TB video, let's go live, and then trying to structure my video while I'm streaming. I just don't think I got the brain capacity to that. So good on Silent for being able to do it. But yeah,
I've thought about doing that on the second channel because I don't mind being live. But wouldn't that be weird though? Like, all right, so Foxy, you sat down in the morning to record and you went live on your second channel. Okay, what is it? Your duck one? Okay, you went live and you were live the whole time that you were producing that video that day. You're recording the clips, editing the clips, rendering the video. Like the whole time you're sitting there live. Wouldn't that just mess with your head?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How much you want to bet people would love it though?
Oh, they would eat it up.
Yeah, I can imagine. But it's not for me. Moving on.
Yeah, no.
Space Frogger says, hello, console player here. It has always bugged me that we can't get mods or maps imported into our worlds. Do you think there is a way to fix this? Like with modding in Skyrim and Fallout, I just feel like Microsoft is really squeezing our wallets for nothing but a world with a mod on it. Wallets for nothing but a world with a mod on it. I don't understand that. Anyway,
yeah, mods on the marketplace. If I'm wrong, Foxy, don't they got to have a mod on it? So, like, if you want to make a specific mod, you have to put it on the world, right?
Yeah, you can't just have an add-on. You've got to have it built around. You've got to have a world that contains it, and it's got to be suitable for that. You can't just go, I'm going to just upload a world and put mini blocks on it. You've got to create a world that is focused around the mod you're doing. So basically, the marketplace isn't for uploading add-ons. You're making worlds, and you're making the add-on to suit what you're trying to achieve in the world, rather than trying to shape the world to suit the add-on.
Got you. That makes sense. That's annoying.
So, like, Foxy could never put, in the way that the marketplace is right now, his mini block add-on out there unless it was tied to a world, and then they couldn't put that on another world.
No, so if I want to put my mini blocks in a world, well, first of all, I can't unless I'd have to use the non-experimental version, which is pretty useless anyway because you can't put them on your head and everything, so everyone would complain. But I'd have to make a world that's got a load of builds already in it, and I'd have to focus that on, like, I don't know. The way I was going to do this, and the way I still intend to do this once the experimental mode actually allows you to do this properly without it being experimental, is to have almost like a Pokemon thing. Got to catch them all. And have a big tower in the middle of somewhere, and maybe some trading villages around that you can get items from, and you've just got to go and collect all of the mob heads or collect all the mini blocks. And I don't know whether or not that's enough to get on the marketplace or not. I hope it would be, but yeah, you can't just go sticking add-ons on, sadly. Maybe one day. I keep moaning at them. I keep trying.
Victim here. What game other than 7 Days to Die Slack currently available or in production comes the closest to enjoying the kind of longevity Minecraft has, in your opinion? Of course,
Ooh.
I can't think of another sandbox or building game. Like, with 7 Days, I was not interested in it at first. It was kind of like Minecraft. Somebody's like, oh, you should play Minecraft. I'm like, no, that's a kid's game. 7 Days, oh, you should play that. It's and I'm like, no, it's a zombies game. But like, you take the zombies out of it, it's like the most overpowered sandbox game ever. You want to build stairs? You can build stairs. You want to build triangles? You want to build in every shape, form, or fashion? That's great. So you're asking the wrong person, because I'm down a 7 Days to Die rabbit hole that I can't get out of.
I think the only other game that I've played that I have felt like it doesn't matter what it is, I would keep playing it forever, is Fallout. That's literally the only series I have ever been interested in where I'm like, yeah, I will just keep going forever.
For me, there's a few. So Terraria, I absolutely loved. I spent ages in Terraria, but unfortunately, Terraria is like a really heavily modded version of Minecraft. There's just so much in it and so many rabbit holes you got to go down to get the things that you need that it's life consuming. I couldn't anyway. Maybe some people can, but I just couldn't physically or mentally remember what I needed to do next playing it part time. That would have to be my full-time game to play in order for me to retain the knowledge I needed for it. But the gameplay is great. It's really good fun. The worlds are in limited size, so I guess that eventually you're going to feel like you've done everything. But then you can go to a new world with your character, with all of your stuff, and you can, start again effectively, but with where you left off. So I really like that. Stardew Valley, I could put a lot of time into that. Stardew Valley's great. It's not the same as Minecraft, but there's a lot of gameplay in there. There's a lot of continuality in it. There's a lot of different things you could do each time. I think for me, it was a little bit stressful, the time limit on each day. I always felt like I didn't have enough time to achieve what I wanted to, but I think you get used to that quickly. But I think if I wasn't doing Minecraft and I really wanted to be into gaming, I would love to do something like Ark Survival Evolved. Not as a multiplayer, massive multiplayer online, but a server of a few friends playing at a reasonable speed because... That's amazing. I love that game. The problem I had with that game, because it's MMO based, means that you've got to spend literally hours and hours and hours gathering resources to be able to build the tiniest thing, and you've got to spend hours and hours and hours. Literally, you've got to wait by some dinosaurs for 2 or 3 hours for them to finish taming and keep feeding them and stuff like that. So when I played that with Jack regularly, we set up a little server on one of my computers at home, and we tuned it all so that you could tame the dinosaurs relatively quickly. You didn't need quite so many ridiculous amounts of materials to build your houses, and we had a great time, like building bases and getting dragons. It was amazing. I absolutely loved that game. So I even tried to do some series on my YouTube channel a long time ago. I don't think they're on there now, playing Ark, but they didn't go down very well. But yeah, any of those three, I think.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, doesn't it just?
Yeah.
I never got into that one because of the MMO part. I don't like games where forced PvP can be a thing. That's like why I refuse to play. What is it? There's another survival open world one. It's on Steam, and I've had so many people like, "Hey, you should play this," but the only way you can do it is multiplayer. You have to do multiplayer, and like other players can just kill you and take all your stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have no desire to play a game like that. None.
I tried to play Ark Online once and I hated it because there was no way to progress because everybody was just, as soon as you spawn in, someone with a big army of T-Rexes just comes and eats you, and you just say, no, I can't be doing with this. Considering, literally takes days upon days upon days just to get enough materials to start even building like a thatch hut, which you can just knock down easily with like a tiny dinosaur. So I wouldn't want to do that, but I'd be up for doing it with friends, definitely. I tell you what, there's nothing better than the experience in that game. So when let's say you're going to go get a big dinosaur, right? And you die. And your backpack is left on the floor where you die. So it's safe. It's not going to despawn or anything. But when you get back there, those dinosaurs are still there. And just because you've got nothing, trying to find a way to get in to get your backpack back is just one of the best experiences ever. It's kind of a little bit like the Warden, I guess, to a certain extent. And it's just that sort of thing can keep me hooked forever. So, yeah.
Truly Ark server win?
I was just going to say, now you're making me really want to play Ark.
Okay, we'll get Ark on the go. We'll give it a go. Let's do this. Jeez.
Truly Ark stream weekend.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'll be up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had that. Oh, no, I'm not going to go. I could talk about it all day, but I'm not going to. Anyway. Right, where are we up to? Kiwi says, hello Flapsy, Jaxie, Slop and friends. My current PC build has an Intel i5 processor, 16GB of RAM and a GTX 770. I understandably run into performance issues when trying to stream and record higher qualities. My question is, would I be getting a better bang for my buck upgrading the GPU or RAM first? I've gotten different answers from different people on forums, so curious to hear your take. Thanks. It depends what you're trying to do. Assuming with this being a Minecraft podcast, it's Minecraft that you're trying to record. Your RAM isn't going to make any difference at all. Get a better graphics card.
I would argue the different on that, depending on the chipset of the motherboard. If you're running DDR3 versus DDR4,
Nah, I still don't think it makes as much difference as a graphics card.
I would
someone
still
who
say-
was on a potato.
My old PC that still runs Minecraft and records at 1080p absolutely fine is an i5 with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and I think that's the GTX 660. So maybe just tweak your settings a bit.
What's the DDR3?
No idea. Not a clue, probably.
Okay.
It's really old. It's like 14 years old now. Probably DDR2.
But this is one of those, and this is where you can call me just the bad guy in this situation. Like, you got an i5, 16 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 770, and yeah, you're going to have performance issues. But I started on an i3 with 4 gigs of RAM and no graphics card doing YouTube and streaming. It comes down to want versus want. You can do a lot with a little if you want to. You call me the bad guy in this situation, but I came from a potato. So
exactly. And the other thing about that is, depending on how old your PC is, if it is relatively old, if it's sort of 4 or 5 years plus, you probably find you could get a cheaper pre-built PC that's more modern with probably similar specs but more modern stuff and a more modern graphics card than you can just trying to upgrade the graphics card in there. Because if it's an older PC, even if you get a decent graphics card, it's probably going to be limited by the system anyway. So maybe look at saving up a little bit more and putting it towards something else. Or, like Slack says, just turn your settings down a bit and just enjoy playing and get used to it.
Yeah. Trust me, people will watch, even if it's almost stop animation. Trust me, my earlier stuff was. And then, all right, so if I had to choose out of those, even if you're running a DDR3 board, okay, you're running an old board, I'd still say the graphics card first. That's what I did. I got my 2070 when I was still running my like 1930 chipset board. You know what I mean? And guess what? When I got a new board, I could just take that graphics card out and put it in the new computer. So yeah, I would say graphics card first.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Glad we agree. Put it in the good ideas, but no, wrong section. Sorry.
Yeah,
Jess.
wrong section. Hip Hop says, Dear Fixie, Slick, and Juicy, what do you all think about naturally generating castles with traps, and maybe it could be guarded by a red dragon, which people have been begging for years? Thanks for the awesome, entertaining podcast. Sincerely, Hip Hop. I am always, well, I don't want to say always, but I like the idea of new structures and new things to do in Minecraft. So I don't think I hate the idea.
Yeah, I'd like to come across a castle, maybe a little bit broken down so you could fix it up and make it nice. But yeah, that'd be cool. I'm not fussed about the red dragon. I know everyone got it's about like a bit like the Herobrine thing, something that Mojang talked about absolutely millions of years ago. I think it was one of the things Notch said was going to come in an update at some point and then got forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind a red dragon being there. That would kind of be the cool thing that you've got to defeat in order to be able to take over the castle. Yeah, absolutely. But I'd take the castle without the dragon.
I mean, we kind of just got that underground with the ancient cities and the warden, but I could totally agree with the random castle. My immediate thought was like how we got the ruined portals. What if we had just ruined towers all over the place that you could fix up?
Yeah, I think I prefer a castle. It's like you could say about, you said about the warden and the ancient city. You could say the same thing about those ruined things under the ocean. It's not necessarily the same because the ancient city is not a very nice place to build in. It's not broken to the extent that you go there and you want to fix it up. It's still dark. It's still dingy. It's not. You don't look at that and go, oh, I want to do that up. And the same things with that underwater ruins. You think, well, I don't want to go swimming about underwater to try and fix a few of those up. Whereas if you saw like a pretty large, almost woodland mansion style broken down castle just sat on a hill somewhere that you could go and, put a few new blocks in and make it look almost new again and put new floors in and I think that'd be great. Love that.
Yeah, I'm actually sold on the idea. More naturally generated structures, because if we're going to build anything, we're just going to level the area anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then it's no different from the ocean monuments. If you don't want it there, you get rid of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Nice. I like the idea. Put it in the good... Oh, I didn't...
Went wrong section again, yeah.
Oh, Jeez. All these people having good ideas in the wrong section. What do you think you're doing with your lives?
How do you say that next name?
Dash Nashrichter.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try that. That's what's best for the podcast? Listening on YouTube or one of the other various podcast apps? You would have to ask Foxy on that one. I don't know if you're talking about for like monetary support. Maybe I don't know.
Financially, watching on YouTube, obviously, when we actually get to a point that we've earned enough through these live streams on YouTube to pay Slack and Jessiie, that would be good. In terms of, obviously, when you're doing a podcast, you're not looking at trying to make money at the early points. Maybe in the future, if it's popular, we might get sponsored by someone. But I don't think you're ever, unless you've got millions of viewers, you're ever going to be really making a great deal of money from ads, at least. I think when you're supporting a podcast, you could do that. If we opened up Patreon, we could do it like that. But I think realistically, it's what's going to help the podcast grow the most and get more people listening to it is what would be most helpful for us. Listening on YouTube is great as long as you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, doing one of the usual YouTube things so other people get recommended it. And if you're listening to it on a podcast app, if you want to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or just, anything like that will help, again, more people listen to it. So you don't need to necessarily do anything you're not doing. But if you do have an opportunity on whatever you are using to engage with it in some way, then please do.
Yeah, no, that'd probably be what I'd say, yeah.
Okay. DJ Chris is back. Hey, DJ Chris 2019 here. I don't know if you peeps got this because I wrote a letter, shoved it in a bottle and threw it in the ocean, and it ended up in an underwater volcano, spitting out from the surface, reached the sky and fell back down to a seagull smack it. Hope it ended up in the UK. It said, hello peeps, I've been a Minecrafter for a long time. Since 2014, I played Xbox 360 edition and had fun. Minecraft has evolved so much. What do you see in Minecraft's future in the next 10 years? That's such an... The thing is, it's really difficult to answer questions like that because you automatically go with, I'd like to see this and I'd like to see this and I'd like to see this. But we never know what the developers are going to do because they are very good at being sneaky and coming up with things we're not expecting. So I think in the next 10 years, we hopefully will see an inventory update. I think we'll see an end update. I think we'll see a new dimension. And I guess there'll be a bunch of new mobs. Maybe even those biomes that they promised us might even get done at some point. I think we'll see third-party shader support back with a bit of luck. And I think Java
Replay
Edition
mod,
in 10 years' time will probably be have gone, I guess. I think it will just be Minecraft
You really
Bedrock.
think? I don't think it'll be gone in 10 years.
I think it will be classic, Minecraft classic, and I don't think it will be developed anymore. I think it will be community built and driven in 10 years' time.
I'd say probably, if you're talking about going classic and them stopping official support, I'd wager within 5.
Really? Well, that's still within 10 years, so I'm right. Jessiie, go on. What do you think is going to be in the next 10 years?
I think, again, the basic stuff like the updating of the current dimensions that we have. We'll keep getting random updates there. I hope they do the end sooner rather than later, but in the next 10 years, definitely. I do think we'll have another dimension. Other than that, I don't really know. I don't know what their end goals are. I don't think that they talk very openly about like where they see this game going. So anything could happen. And I don't tend to think about it very much. I just enjoy it while I have it.
Slack.
You literally nailed everything that I was going to say.
Fair enough. Oh, good. Well, that saves you a job then, doesn't it?
Well,
hey, guess what, Jessiie?
I know. I was just going to say. And we have DJ Chris again, who says, hi, peeps. Can I get some advice on starting YouTube channel from you peeps? Love the podcast, FYI. I usually play on single player, not servers, because of low internet connection where I live. The biggest advice I can give you is just do it. If that's what you want to do, then, just give it a shot. and see what happens. See if you like it. See what it is. I think we spend a lot of time wanting things to be perfect, and nobody is perfect when they first start. So if you have the drive to do it, just go for it.
Yeah, if you want to do it. It was Groova who finally told me, because I procrastinated forever, talking in the back room at Discords and everything else. Oh, I really want to do YouTube. Well, why don't you? I don't know if people like it. Well, if you don't try, you won't know. And that was like 4 years ago now. So if you want to do it, you'll do it. And you don't need to worry about having the best of anything. And like Jessiie said, expect to mess up. Expect to put out content that you're not happy with later. Or not that you're not happy with. Let me rephrase that.
That you
always
look back
try
on and
to
cringe
improve.
at.
Yeah. But always try to improve, I guess is the way to put it. Be willing to learn and be willing to accept criticism. Because you're going to get it somewhere, whether you want it or not. You're going to get it.
For me, okay, yeah, definitely, just do it. If you're not on about, I mean, if you want to become the next big YouTuber, you've got a big job on your hands, and I'll get into that in a second. But if you just want to, make Minecraft videos or make YouTube videos and just enjoy putting content out for the fun of it, just do it. Don't worry about it. I would always say to anyone, I wouldn't bother putting out content if you're not going to talk. If you're just going to do gameplay with music over it, no, I think people click on it and click straight off again. I don't think anybody wants to see that. If you want to do it properly, if you really want to try and get a leg up and get going relatively quickly, then I would spend quite a lot of time watching a lot of YouTube videos from not Minecraft content creators, but content creators that talk about how to do YouTube, how to make a good thumbnail, how to plan your videos, how to put it together, how to make, and how to do all of the social side of it as well, how to do YouTube shorts, how to live stream, so that you can start the ball running, or you can start basically get going from the off, if that's where you want to go with it. If you genuinely think you've got what it takes to make it work for you, then you might as well start as you mean to go on and just absolutely try your best. It doesn't mean you've got to have the best quality in the world. It doesn't have to mean you've got to be perfect. But if you're doing all the right things at the beginning, like making good thumbnails, making good descriptions, making good titles, and you're making videos that people want to play rather than just the same stuff that everybody else is doing, then, maybe think about doing that. But if you just want to have fun, just do it.
Yeah. One other final thing I want to add there. If you're thinking about doing it to make money, don't go into it making that plan.
yeah. If you go into it thinking you're going to make money from it, you're going in with the wrong idea, because it will be a very, very, very long time before you even start making pennies. So yeah.
Oh, you mean that live stream you did the other day where where somebody said, "Oh, you make about $10,000 for 2 videos"?
Yeah.
Not true.
Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it? If I made $10,000 a year out of YouTube, that would be nice. I don't think in my entire YouTube history I've made more than $10,000.
I don't think I have either on YouTube.
So, don't go in with high expectations if you're going to get millions of subscribers and loads of money. But if you have that natural personality that people warm to, then you just might, but don't expect it.
And also, going into Minecraft YouTubing to try to be competitive, you're going into a very, very, very saturated market. And especially after the most recent pandemic, everybody wants to be a YouTuber now, and everybody wants to be a content creator and streamer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right, Slack. We're second to last question.
Big Low here says, if you have more guests, are you just going to be having members of Truly Bedrock or other content creators? I would think other content creators too.
I'd like to, yeah. I was thinking about that when I read that question earlier, and I was like, oh, I'd love to have this person and this person and this person, but it's how you go about approaching them in a like not feeling like you've got stars in your eyes because they're a celebrity, and how do you approach somebody and say, will you come on our little podcast?
You ask them.
I know.
This is where you send Jessiie in. I'm like, it's fine.
It's same as when we started TB and we were looking at who we could invite, and you've got this, like, we've got all of these names we'd like to invite, but I bet everyone will say no because it's just an idea and they've not heard of it. And fortunately they didn't. Fortunately, they were like, yeah, we'll play. It's great. I don't think maybe like 1 or 2 people turned us down, which it's fine at the end of the day. So chances are, I guess, we would get a few yeses from content creators, but I kind of feel like we need to have some weight behind us before we do, and we're getting there. We're on episode 33. We've been putting them out pretty regularly, so I don't think we're just a complete unknown anymore, but I still think we're pretty small fry for being able to just go to a content creator and go, hey, do you want to come on our podcast? And be like, oh, what, the Spawn Chunks? Well, it's like the Spawn Chunks, but not a little bit more unprofessional. We're not very good at reading feedback. MrBeardstone was on it.
We have a lot of filler sections because we don't have that much news.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to have TB members and other content creators, absolutely. So that hopefully in the future, Jessiie B's on it. She's got a list.
Yeah. Who's our
Definitely.
next potential?
Ricky Roy.
Oh my gosh.
Right, okay, last question. We've got who was here first saying, if you had to make a Minecraft spin-off game like Legends, what would it be like? It would be like Legends, wouldn't it?
What's Legends?
That's the new
Minecraft
one?
Legends, that new one. Yeah, if we had to make one like Legends, it would be like Legends. Or have I read that wrong?
I think they're saying if you made a spin-off game like they're doing with Legends. Okay, so they're making another spin-off. Yeah.
Making a joke, jeez.
I know, and I'm being slack. Okay.
Okay. You two can go first while I think about it. Jessiie.
I don't know. I don't see. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna be real honest about it. I hate spinoffs. I hate them so much. It feels unoriginal. It feels just like you lack creativity, and so I'm just not a fan. I wouldn't make a spinoff game from Minecraft. I would just create something new, or I would just play Minecraft.
Oof. Wow.
Yeah. It's
crying in dungeons right now.
Yeah, it's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay, Slack.
I would like a spin-off strategy game like StarCraft. Like you start with, Minecraft and you start in like a villager's hut. Okay, maybe that's how
isn't this Legends?
No, Legends is don't even get me started. Yeah, but like the original StarCraft, like you start out in like a villager house and you send out villagers to gather up wood and you send them out to gather up stone and you can build other things around the area and stuff. A real-time strategy game. I love strategy games.
So like Civilization, something like that.
Kind of, yes. Yeah. Age of Empires. Yeah.
I love Age of Empires.
Yeah, so that would have been one of my, out of two things, that would have been one of my go-to ones, would be like a Civ 6 type thing where you've got a world and you've got different factions and you're building up things with Minecraft-based stuff. My other one would be, I guess, more like Elden Ring, where you got just a more role play than Elden Ring, but like open world, but it's role play. You've got a story you can follow. You've got side quests you can go on. And maybe there's other like people that can join your team a little bit, by like Final Fantasy, I guess, sort of a mix of RPGs. Really, I think would be more
upgradable
my
tools
taste.
And weapons.
Yeah,
and
dodge rolling.
Yeah, dodge rolling. Horses that can double jump, right?
Yeah. So I think a Minecraft RPG, I think I'd quite like that, to be honest with you, if they got it right.
Yeah.
And I definitely wouldn't mind having to go at an RTS. Yeah. Like Command and Conquer. I loved Command and Conquer. I really wish there was a modern day equivalent of Command and Conquer that wasn't rubbish. I'd love to play that again. I'd love to stream that again. I keep thinking, I'm going to do Command and Conquer and Red Alert streams, but no one cares and no one will watch.
Yeah.
Like, I love the original Dune. The strategy game Dune. I loved it.
Yeah.
And like StarCraft was my biggest one forever. I loved Blizzard forever. But like StarCraft 2, it doesn't have the same feel.
No. The modern Command and Conquers don't. I don't think there's any like really modern ones, but after they got past Red Alert 2 and it all sort of went 3D-ish, it all went downhill from there. It was rubbish. I just didn't like it. I liked that overview, top down. Yeah, we could have had a bit more better graphics, but everything else was perfect. Please bring that back. When can we have that back again? Retro's in, right? Bring that back. Let's have that mainstream.
Isn't that where one of your famous voices came from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Affirmative. Yeah. Oh man. Yes. Please bring those back. Okay, peeps, it sounds like, unless Jessiie,
Wow.
unless she's going to decide suddenly that she wants to make a Minecraft spin-off game, it sounds like we're very much at the end of the questions. If you would like to ask us the questions for next week's podcast, then please do send us an email to news@theminecraftupdate.com, or, fill in the feedback form that's on our very much unfinished website, or join the Discord and leave it in the questions channel. If you are leaving us an email, though, please do put question in your subject line so that we know that it's a question. Right, peeps, that is pretty much the end. All we got left to say is what we're going to be doing this week, and I'm going to start with me for a change. This week, I'm going to have TB video going out, maybe even 2 if you're lucky, and more vlog stuff. I will be streaming on Tuesday. It's stream weekend this weekend. I will be probably doing a stream on Tuesday, but then I'm going to be going away. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, actually. News! I'm not going to be here next Thursday. I'm going to be in Cornwall. So I'm assuming you guys won't do it on your own. Maybe you could get a guest in to replace me, Jessiie. You've got time.
In a week.
Look, Jessiie.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it have to be like, it have to be like Wednesday. I'm just saying, because like Thursday and Friday, I'm gonna be occupied.
So, moral of the story: we're not having a podcast next week.
Wow.
This is the announcement time?
You won't do it without me. It's
No.
so rubbish.
It's your podcast. I'm not doing it.
No, it's ours.
Not doing it.
Okay, no podcast next week. You heard it here first, guys. You know why? I'm all for it, but those just won't do it.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. Make us be the bad guys.
Wow.
I mean, who would read the news if it was me and you?
Not
Take
me.
it tense.
Oh, you want me to read the news?
Jessiie was brilliant at reading the news. It was so funny.
It was funny, but you learned nothing. Like,
Maybe
We didn't
just
learn
do,
anything
like, the
any
Q&A
week that I
section.
do the news. Jeez.
Maybe we just do the Q&A. Like, you're supposed to be going back through all these YouTube comments that you've never done yet. What?
Maybe you could just do a live Q&A and record it in the Discord.
I mean, that's fun. We could do that.
I'm sure you can think of something to do for everybody while we're off.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, don't expect anything next week, peeps. Jessiie, what are you going to have going on this week?
This week, I should have a video, and I will be streaming every day in August. So you're just gonna be sick of me at this point.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone would be. Unless you just decided not to do the podcast one week because I wasn't there. But if you didn't...
Wow.
Slag, what about you?
Same as always, planning to take over the world with Minecraft videos and streams.
Amazing. Good. Well, if that's everything, then all that's left to say is the same thing that I say at the end of every single podcast that has ever been, and that is, if you've got a wish list item but I put it in the feedback, then you're doing something wrong. And on that note, it's time to go.
Stay frosty, everybody. Yep.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye. For 2 weeks.
Wow. Jeez. Lazy.